Jimmy Carter, A Full Life, Reflections at 90. Dive into the remarkable life and experiences of Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, in his book, A Full Life, Reflections at 90. This summary provides an intriguing look at his humble beginnings in Plains, Georgia, his progression in the U.S. Navy, and his political journey from state senator to the presidency. Amidst the many roles he has taken up, including farmer, businessman, and community activist, uncover Carter's dedication to human rights, equality, and environmental issues, which played a significant role in his time in office and even after his presidency.
A glimpse into Jimmy Carter's humble beginnings. Former President Jimmy Carter's childhood in Plains, Georgia is characterized by hard work, simple living, and exposure to racial segregation. Despite growing up with limited resources, Carter's strong work ethic allowed him to engage in various activities, from selling boiled peanuts to providing carpentry services. He also witnessed the racial disparities entrenched in his community, mostly between African Americans and whites. However, Carter remained committed to equality and fairness for all races, in contrast to his father's pro-segregation views. As he graduated high school and proceeded to college, he aimed to become a Navy man, inspired by his mother's brother, who served in the U.S. Navy. Jimmy Carter's life, from Naval Academy to family business. Jimmy Carter graduates from the U.S. Naval Academy and trains in naval engineering, develops a love for reading and music, and experiences memorable moments as a submariner. He marries Rosalind Smith and raises 4 children while serving in the Navy. After his father's death, he leaves the Navy to take over the family business. Jimmy Carter's life story is a fascinating one. He graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, in 1946, where he learned about naval engineering, electronics, electrical power, seamanship, and the construction and operation of ships. Along with his studies, he developed a love for reading about history, literature, and aviation, and also enjoyed listening to classical music with his classmates and running cross-country. After joining the Navy's submarine school in 1948, Carter faced several close calls, including being washed off deck by a wave and seeing Mao Zedong's troops' campfires. These experiences solidified his interest in Taiwan and China. While serving in the Navy, he married his neighbor and childhood friend Rosalind Smith, and they had 4 children together. In 1953, after his father's death, Carter resigned from the Navy and returned to his rural hometown of Plains, Georgia, to take over the family business. This decision meant that he had to give up a promising naval career without a guaranteed income. However, he persevered and gradually expanded the family business, eventually becoming a successful businessman and a future president of the United States. Jimmy Carter, from farmer to governor. After inheriting 1/5 of his father's estate, Jimmy Carter managed all the cultivated and timberland of the family farm and worked with sharecropping families to ensure the best agricultural practices. He then became involved in community affairs by filling his father's positions and becoming president of the Georgia Crop Improvement Association. He faced opposition for his refusal to join the White Citizens Council but still won a seat in Georgia's Senate in 1962. After losing the governorship in 1966, he ran and won in 1970, bringing fresh political waves to the South and ending racial discrimination. During his term as governor, Carter prioritized education, the environment, health care, international affairs, and taxation. Carter's rise to presidency. Jimmy Carter took on leadership roles in the Democratic Party after his gubernatorial term ended, eventually going on a 50-state tour on a shoestring budget to campaign for president. His commitment to the truth and engagement with audiences helped him win the Democratic nomination and ultimately the presidency. As president, he pursued a foreign policy focused on human rights, with goals ranging from negotiating peace in the Middle East to resolving the issues surrounding the Panama Canal. Carter's presidency in review. President Carter's personal and professional life in the White House are explored, from his frugality to his global diplomatic efforts. President Carter's presidency was marked by admiration for historical figures who had come before him and a desire to create a welcoming home in the White House. He and his family enjoyed informal meals and movies together and relished their time at Camp David. Carter, known for his frugality, exemplified this trait personally and sometimes implemented cost-saving measures that were unpopular. Despite his positive relationship with the news media, Carter suffered negative coverage for most of his time in office. He was particularly surprised to learn about the religious right movement in his third year. On the international front, Carter played a key role in normalizing relations with China by inviting Vice Premier Deng Xiaoping to visit the United States in 1979. Additionally, he worked with British Prime Minister James Callaghan to help the United Kingdom through a difficult economic period. Carter's presidency was a time of personal and professional growth, as demonstrated by his dedication to honoring past leaders and his global diplomatic efforts. Jimmy Carter's presidency. Jimmy Carter faced various challenges during his presidency, but he was determined to make changes. Despite warnings not to take on too many projects, he established the Federal Emergency Management Agency, helped protect land in Alaska, and assisted in the recovery of New York City and the Chrysler Corporation from financial crises. Carter's commitment to human rights and democracy was scoffed at by some, but he helped support human rights movements in Latin America, helped establish direct elections in Rhodesia, and made efforts to end the Cold War through meetings with Soviet leaders. Additionally, Carter's peace talks at Camp David led to successful negotiations between Israel and Egypt. However, his attempts to resolve the Iran hostage crisis were unsuccessful. Carter's views on current issues, including abortion, drug policies, energy, and intelligence, reflect his passion for making positive changes. The life and legacy of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter's life after the presidency was marked by leadership, service, and advocacy for human rights. Despite challenges with his family business and farms, Carter leveraged his political status to boost his efforts and initiatives, including becoming a distinguished professor and founding the nonpartisan Carter Center. His commitment to Habitat for Humanity and promoting human rights and peace in 80 countries continues to this day. His advocacy for women's rights culminated in the best-selling book, A Call to Action: Women, Religion, Violence and Power. Carter's current life is centered around teaching Bible lessons in his local church and continuing his activities and adventures with his wife, Rosalind, through the Carter Center. Carter's life and legacy serve as an inspiration for leaders to continue their work beyond political office, advocating for important issues and making a meaningful impact on the world.
The story of Jimmy Carter's life encapsulates his resilience, strong moral backbone, and commitment to the well-being of others. From his early years in Plains, Georgia, where he overcame a strict racial divide, to his time as the President of the United States, Carter became a champion of human rights, peace, and equality. Not one to rest on his laurels, after leaving office in 1980, Carter continued his work by founding the Carter Center, engaging in philanthropic efforts, and advocating for the betterment of women and girls worldwide. This Renaissance man's life journey serves as an inspiring testament to the transformative power of perseverance, empathy, and dedication to a greater good.